In nomine Patri, et Filii Sancti. Uh, sorry, it's Spiritus Sancti. Conclave. I finally got around to seeing this today. Came out. Oh, did it come out last week or was it the week? It came out a little while ago. So in fact, it was not this week. It was or last week. It was the previous week. It came out because it came out the same week as Venom did. And I wanted to see it. Like, it looked good. I've been hearing Oscar buzz about the film, particularly for Ray Fiennes and Stanley Tucci. And John Lithgow's in there too. It's always great to see John Lithgow around. And it's based off a book where the Pope dies and they're going through the process of picking a new Pope. Particularly this, he's called the Dean. They're all cardinals, but I can't remember what his position is. Ray Fiennes' character. He's like he's described as kind of like the manager of the church, kind of. So he's got to manage the situation. He's someone who's also been having some issues with faith. But then there's the whole secrecy of what's going on, the politics of the church, why people are wanting the position and everything going on in there. And is the right person going to be in there, or is it someone who is not qualified for the job? And it's an interesting watch, to say the least. I really did enjoy it. Do I think this is an Oscar caliber Oscar caliber film? Let me put it this way. I think a lot of people will see it as Oscar caliber. In fact, let me see what the overall consensus is on the film right now, because I know it's got really great reviews. I don't think everyone loves it, but I think it's got I think it's either in the 80s or the 90s for its Rotten Tomato score. Yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of critics, a lot of the Academy Board are going to look at it and say, yes, this is Oscar caliber. We need to put this into consideration for like front runner, all that. Maybe Best Picture or release nominations for certain things. 92%, 85%, so it's got a good score. For me, I thought it was a really good film. I might even say it's on the best of the list here, but it's probably on the low side. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with the film. There's not. I was engrossed. I was invested. I'm just like, am I like being blown away by what I'm watching? No, I'll be honest, I was kind of picking up where it was going for a little while. And when we got into the last, say, 20 minutes of the film, I knew what was going to happen. Save for one reveal at the end where I'm like, for about 20 seconds in the audience, it turns into a comedy based on the reactions and the big reveal. So I'm like, we're all kind of like, we're all laughing at the reaction. And we're like, I'm gonna admit, when they say one line leading into the reveal, I'm like, oh, are they gonna do that? And sure enough, they went, oh, they did that. Okay. Okay. But yeah, no, it's, otherwise I wasn't super shocked by a lot of stuff happening, but not that I needed to be. But did I enjoy myself watching film? Absolutely, I did. It does have this great air of what is the mystery going on? Who is really at fault for what? Was there negligence in the Pope's death? What's the agenda of every individual? And who's got it right, who's got it wrong. There is a lot of that going on, and the performances are great. They are top notch. I have heard Ray Fiennes and Stanley Tucci particularly would be up for best actor and supporting actor respectively. And I love me Ray Fiennes. I've heard a lot of people say, or I've heard some people say he's the best actor without an Oscar working today. I would probably second that notion. And it's a good performance. I just don't know if it is Oscar caliber or not. If anything, I actually probably would lean towards... Now, that being said, as the film went on and we deal more with this guy and like the crisis of not necessarily faith, but just his belief in the system is going on, I did start to see a lot more of the nuances of the performance, because it is a lot more of a reserved performance. But in my head, I'm like, if he didn't get nominated for the Menu, which I think the Menu was far a better role than this, personally, I find it hard to believe he would be nominated for this, but that also depends on who else is being up for nominations this year. I do think, though, Stanley Tucci, of the two of them, has the better shot at a supporting actor. Stanley Tucci's great in this role. Absolutely. I definitely liked him a lot. He is like, he's the more far accepting as they put it, the liberal of the Conclave. But when he is trying to fight for what's right, you really see the emotion on his face, and you really see the passion at work there. But we can't discount also John Lithgow, who isn't in the film anywhere near as much as the other two, but he is an important figure in the film, and the way he plays his character, you are convinced that he is convinced he's not doing anything wrong. Now, whether or not he's doing something wrong, or not people think he's doing something wrong, is something else entirely. But the fact of the matter is that, he's playing that great. There's a couple other performers whose names I don't have in front of me at the moment, who are like also up for the position of Pope. And they're also very unique as well in terms of like their characterization, their stories, and then how they also interact with Ralph Fiennes' character. Ralph Fiennes is the glue that holds this film together, though, and it's an interesting look into a man who is devout. He is a man of faith, but he's a man who has doubts, not necessarily in God, but in the system around him that perpetuates God. He has the great line, you hear it in the trailer, but it's extended in the movie about, there's one sin I've come to fear more than anything. It's certainty, because without certainty, there would be no mystery, and without that, there'd be no reason for faith. And that's extended a bit. There's more to that than that. But there's some great, like, legit quotes in this. Like, that is a fantastic quote, because that is really true. It truly is. Those who lack certainty are those who probably have true faith. If I'm getting my 2 cents on that, because those people who are so certain that you're going to hell if you have sex before marriage, or if you're gay, well, then you're not religious. You're a zealot. You want to believe what you believe without having any room for growth or change. The ability to make a mistake and then persevere. Like, that's another thing. He says that line in the movie too. It's like, I want a pope who's not afraid to sin and then seek penance and grow beyond that and move forward. Like, someone who's willing to grow while in their faith. That, to me, sounds like a good interpretation of faith of any level. There's also a line, it's like, start saying our best choice is the less bad candidate. And there was someone there was only like 6 of us, but someone chuckled, this being like 2 days after the election. And it's like, wow, poignant. But, so, yeah, there are some good lines in this film. Absolutely. And I do buy this character he's playing. Absolutely, I do. There's a lot of quiet moments with this character where he's just acting with his face, and you buy a lot of the pain, not misery, but conflict in him. You buy a lot of this, and it's tough to see a man who's clearly a good man, clearly just trying to do what's good for God and everyone, struggle with something like this. Is the film too long? No, the film actually flowed just fine. Actually, it did feel kind of like a book. It did, but in a good way. Like, I could feel the chat. Like, they did space the film out into day 1 of like the conclave voting, day 2, day 3, and so forth and so on. So they did space it out a little bit, and it did feel kind of like the end of a book at the end. But the film's only 2 hours, and it didn't really feel. Like I wasn't bored. I was invested. The performances are great. I'll give credit to the guy who played the Pope who died. He had no lines. He played a corpse most of the time, except in a brief, like, not flashback, but a brief moment where Ralph Fiennes like kind of praying to something. He thinks he's just remembering the Pope there, and he's just smiling. Okay, that guy probably got paid a nice little smile, like, hey, I just gotta sit here and do nothing and then look at him quietly. Cool. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I never read the book it's based off of. There's certainly, when I was watching it though, knowing it was based off a book, there are definitely conversations where I was watching and listening and then imagining how it would like read in a book. And I could definitely see that on the page when I was watching. So I'd also say that was something too. Otherwise, it's a good movie. It's a very good movie. It will probably be in my top 10. I'll have to measure out my top 10s by the end of the year, obviously. But it should probably be in my top 10. That being said, trailers. We got a weird amalgamation of trailers for us. We got the Tom Hanks movie Here, which got limited release last week, and the wide release is, I think, this week. I believe it's this week. Hold on. I think it's this week. Or it's next week. One of the two. It's either this week or next week we get the wide release. It's got like 1,700 screens, but right now. But wide release, I think must be above 2,000. That must be what constitutes for a wide release. Is it here? Over here. No, yeah, it's next week it gets its full release. 2,500 plus screens. I don't know if it's getting that many extra screens or if it's going to be on that many extra screens. I don't know exactly what that stands for, but yeah. And so, yeah, so we got here, but then we got Moana. We got Dogman, which I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? Mufasa? Yeah, Mufasa of all things. Did we? I'm trying. You know, I got a list of movies up here right now. I'm amazed we didn't get the Heretic attached to this. But then again, Heretic came out today, so I'll see here. I'm trying to see Heretic tomorrow. By the way, what was some of the other movie trailers we got here? Mufasa. Let's see here. Here was there anything else? Oh, Wicked. We got Wicked again. I don't think. Oh, it's German. Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Spy, Assassin. First thing I've ever actually seen from Angel Studios, which actually looked kind of interesting. Apparently, it was based on a true story about the assassination attempt on Hitler, where I'm guessing I'll read the. Okay, yeah. As the world teeters on the brink of annihilation, Dietrich Bonhoeffer joins a deadly plot to assassinate Hitler, risking his faith and fate to save millions of Jews from genocide. Look, it's the first thing from Angel Studios I've seen in a little bit where I go, all right, you're at least trying to tell a solid story, I think. Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on Angel Studios, but Angel Studios falls at it's not quite as bad as something like a Pure Flix, but it does lean towards that area of film and genres. But again, not as bad. So, at least in terms of how they present themselves. And I should note, before anyone who's commented before about why I don't like things like Pure Flix or stuff like that, I've made my point clear on why I don't like Pure Flix before, but why movies like this I'm perfectly fine with. Because what's the best way to put it? While there are characters who vilify like other religions and stuff like that in this film, though they aren't the focus of the film, and they're not the protagonist of the film saying that their methodology is right. Where that's usually what Pure Flix is doing, telling the atheist that you're wrong, making them the evil one, and basically just letting them die or whatever. So that's kind of, it's a little different there. That being said, yeah. I like faith-based films when they're done right. Like, I liked this quite a bit. It's not a faith-based film. It's based on a book, but faith is the main factor of it. Hacksaw Ridge is a film there. The character's faith is crucial to the film. And that's a fantastic movie. So, yeah, no, there's plenty of faith-based films, so let's just call them faith-based, that I like. It's just, I don't like the Pure Flix ones. But did we get any other trailers? I'm trying to remember if there was any other trailer that is escaping my mind at the moment. I want to say no, at least for the time being. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll try to see Heretic tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. And what do you think of the film if you've seen it already? Let me know. Till then, thanks for watching. See you later.